and welcome to my world. Today it's the first of the new series, the retro game unboxing is what I'm naming it, and this is the box. There's a lot to say about this one because I'm going to start off by saying where I've got it from, because I have had ideas to do a video game related one, and I found the site. It was called theretro.co.uk or the Retro Store. It's a great store. You have an options just besides video games. You also can choose from like vinyl, cassette and comic books, as well as video games, but I chose video games because A, I like video games, B, I wanted to do a video games unboxing, and C, you demanded a video game related unboxing, and pretty much all three was ticked on, you know, all the categories. There's a lot of choices you can make for this one, because you can choose, like, obviously, like just PlayStation games. You can choose Mega Drive or Genesis, as it was known as in America, Master System, Super Nintendo, the original NES, GameCube, PlayStation 2, original Xbox. You know, the list goes on. I mean, there are so many to choose from, and the prices are absolutely fantastic. I got the multi-cart one because that means every cart will be, you know, every box I should say, will be different, but it doesn't just end with the boxes. No, you can actually choose the genres of the games you want, and I chose horror for the first one because obviously I love horror. Horror is my favorite film genre and also my favorite for video game genre, and there's too many to actually think about. Second one is racing. That's my go-to game for just sort of being the best, you know, sort of my sort of domination is like racing. I mean, whether it be the arcadey ones like Mario Kart or the proper games like Gran Turismo or Forza, you know, I will enjoy it. As well as that, I chose sports games after that because I just felt like I want to broaden my horizons with the sports games, because obviously football, or soccer as it's known to the Yanks, is sort of one of our go-to games, because obviously FIFA is the big one, or even Pro Evo, that's sort of the second big one, but I want to add more to it, no matter what the options are. The third one is adventure. Now, I had a choice because I wanted to limit it to 5, so I thought either action or adventure. I thought adventure, I'll go with adventure more because there was a lot of games that I know had action. It was like, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, you know, so it just sort of like, it was one of those things. And the final one is RPG. I'm not good at RPG games, I will admit to that, so I thought, why not go for RPG? And even then, it was sort of like, everyone always says the best RPG game is Final Fantasy. I want to avoid that cliche, you know, that sort of thing by saying, right, there are other RPG games, this is what I'm going to do. And finally, obviously, were the choices of games I chose. I chose 7, so there were 7 consoles I chose from. You can choose all of them if you want, but I chose NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Sega Mega Drive, Sega Master System, and the Game Boy. I might as well have some gaming on the go as well while I'm besides gaming at home. That being said, it's time for me to unveil what I've got. Now, I will admit I was questionable because of its size, because normally you get 3, and I thought this is actually quite a big box, and with it being open, it was literally like, I wouldn't say fully opened, but one of the straps was cut open when I got it, so I questioned that one, so I had to open the other one just to make sure that all of the packages were there. So it was sort of like, this is what I did when I opened it. I went, yep. Well, not that quick, but yeah, I just looked sort of like this much, and I saw there were 6, and I thought, right, I'm not opening any more because I don't want to ruin the surprise, you know. So at least I know from what I saw, I've got 3 NES games and 3 Super Nintendo games. I also got a thank you letter from the retro store, and I'm trying to remember where's the guy's name, Pete. Yeah, from Peter or Pete, whichever one. It's a thank you for subscribing, and a thank you for this, for giving me this. And finally, Beer 52, which is sort of like what I've got here, but just for beer. So that's actually something I might actually like hint it to a few of my friends, like, hey, well, not for me, but like for their friends, like, you can't think of an idea? Yeah, have this. You know, things like that. So that being said, let's see what we've got, and already I am interested in what I've got. We're going to look at the Nintendo game, NES games. First one I've got is Defender of the Crown. Now, I've never heard of this game, and I'm just looking at the cover. Hang on, let me take it out of the foil. It might be able to see it better. I don't want any reflections. Yeah, just looking at the cover, I feel like this is possibly like a Legend of Zelda. I won't say rip-off or knock-off because I don't like using that word, but I feel like this is something along the lines of Legend of Zelda, maybe even King Arthur style game. I mean, what I've got here, and I'm just looking at the quality of what I've got here, that's why I'm just sort of not looking at the camera. You know, nothing looks like badly out of place. You know, the label looks absolutely crisp. So that is actually quite good. Defender of the Crown. It's not a bad start, that. Second one, classic. Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combination. So yeah, you can't go wrong with Super Mario Brothers or even Duck Hunt. I can't say much of that game because it's sort of like everyone knows of that game. If you don't know of the game, then obviously you're too young to know of the classic that started, 1, the Super Mario Brothers franchise, and 2, not many of you might have actually heard of Duck Hunt because there was meant to be a sequel to it when Super Nintendo came out, but I don't know if that was an American exclusive or it was able to come beyond the worlds. Next one is Digger T Rock. Yeah? Right, hang on. Yeah, Digger T Rock, The Legend of the Lost City. Now, I've heard of this game and I've looked at this game a few times, so I actually thought that it's been on my list. Sort of like, oh, I might actually give that a go, I might actually buy that, but I wouldn't say I've gone for it. It's just sort of like I had no idea of it, like I don't know what the story is, I don't know what the gameplay looks like, things like that, and even then it was sort of like when after I looked and I saw it, I went home and it's like I literally forgot to look up the game. So that's a typical me being an idiot. Next, the Super Nintendo games. Once again, I got 3. First one I got is James Bond Jr. I've never heard of. Well, I say I've never heard of James Bond Jr. I've heard little bits of it, but the problem was, because of me being me, I just sort of not acknowledged it, because I'm not a big James Bond fan, and I'm sorry, I just don't like the the film genre. So when I heard it was when I saw this first time at a convention, I thought, why would I buy this? Because I'm not into James Bond, I'm not into anything like that. Sorry, I'm just worried because every time I'm squeezing it I can feel something's loose, so I think there might be, yeah, there's a screw missing, that's it. But it's one of those things, you can't complain about everything. It'll just probably be one of those things where you can easily buy a replacement, screw it in from eBay for like tenner or something like that. NBA Jam, that's the sports game I've got, and I've heard a lot of NBA Jam. I've always wanted NBA Jam, now I finally got it. I don't know if this is the first NBA Jam, but I know it's one of the iconic games of the series, and obviously we can't go wrong with He's on Fire. And finally, F-Zero. I've got F-Zero, so you know, everyone knows about F-Zero that well. It's a great racing game, fantastic for the Super Nintendo, and you know, there's not much more I can actually say about that. So that was the first of the retro store crates, the retro game unboxing. So that's it. That was the first of the retro game unboxing. I'm not going to do like the usual thing like I do in the Loot Crate ones, you know, where best item, least item, because obviously I have no idea what to expect. I'm surprised that out of all of those games I've only got 2 of out of the 6. So whether the 6 was because of the delay from the last crate and I've got both 2 months in one, or it's just their way of saying thank you for joining, so they gave me 6, I have no idea. But either way, that is fantastic. That's 6 games, and I actually have 2 of them. It's not the worst I've done, but you know, at least I've not actually spent money on, you know, like hundreds of pounds on something and be like, ah, damn it, I've already had that. You know, things like that. And the chances are I could easily give those games to, like, you know, people that I know that haven't got it. Like, I could even give it to my own charity group, you know, because the few people I work with, they have video games themselves, so you know, they might actually enjoy it. Even if they have it or don't have it, they might know people that want it. So that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Check out the retro store, because even if there's nothing you could actually see, you might actually think, oh, that's a good idea, you know. Even if it's a, you know, if you're into the comics, vinyl, cassette, or even video games, it's something to worth looking at. So on that note, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.